It was this look. That time.
My diamonds first. Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video, I'll be reviewing the movie Ijogbon, which is currently on Netflix. This came out on Friday, the 13th of October. So now, Ijogbon, which means chaos, was produced and directed by Kunle Afolayan and was written by Tunde Babalola. This movie focuses on the story of four friends who live in a rural village in southwest Nigeria. They stumble upon a pouch of diamonds, and before long, the owners of the diamonds, as well as everybody else that wants to claim the diamonds, comes after them, and in so doing they get into trouble. That's just the story in a nutshell. I'll proceed into cast and performances in this movie. I'll start off with the four friends. First off, we have Obi. Obi was played by Ruby Akubueze. So Obi is an only child. Her dad is late. It's just her and her mom. She cares about her mom very much, and she wants to make her proud as any other child would. So the second person I'll be talking about would be Jamil, who is the principal's son. He seems to be should I say, the leader in their pack. He seems to be the brains of the gang. Happens to be very, very smart and seems to have a very big ego. So his own thing is that he just wants to get out of the village. He's in search of, greener pastures, and he believes, getting out of where they are would take them like a step closer into his dream. So his own thing was I just need to live here. I just need to go to Canada. That was his dream in this whole movie. Next up would be Akanji, who is the prince in this movie, who was played by Fawaz Aina. Seems to be the youngest out of the four group of friends. So he's the prince, the king's son, and he's very, very playful. He doesn't have a lot of worry, doesn't have a lot of stress. He's just very easygoing, just a normal teenage boy, basically. He doesn't have a lot of plans, doesn't have a lot of ambitions. So he's just there, he's just a follower of the pack. And lastly, we have Ranti, who was played by Oluwaseyi. So he was the reverend son in the mix. The father just had it in his head that his destiny was for him to be a priest or whatever, like following his path and all of that. Yeah, so the four of them are friends. They go to the same school, and the movie will just show you how their friendship would unfold, their highs and their lows, and their fights, like everything that will generally happen in a normal friendship. The lead cast in this movie are obviously these four young actors. So to the older actors in this movie, we have the chief. So the chief, for one, was played by Yemi Solade. He was a very cunning, very dubious man. He did dirty dealings here, and he had his own dogs, his own bodyguard. So his character was also very, very nice to see him play that role with his tribal mark. Next up, we have the principal. The principal was blowing a lot of English here and there, and it was nice to see his face on screen as well. So everybody acted very, very well. So we also get to see the king, that's Kabiyesi, who was played by Bimbo Manuel. So I don't think I've ever seen Bimbo Manuel play such a role before. I don't think I've seen him in this kind of character before. So it was nice to see that unfold. Another person you get to see in the movie would be Sam Dede, who played Reverend. So he was Ronti's dad. So it was weird seeing, Sam Dede play in a, spiritual role, in a very laid back role. We're used to him being a gangster, being aggressive, but he just was the one praying for the peace in the whole movie. So it was different side of Sam Dede that you get to see in this movie. You also get to see Femi Branch, who played Banjo. So Banjo was one of the people that was sent to, come after the gold and find the gold. And then you also get to see Femi Adebayo. He played the head of the, the people that were, should I say, the police, or the people that were to protect the community or something like that. Yeah, he was the head person in that role. And we all know he can act, so he acted his parts well. Also get to see Gabriel Afolayan, who played Kasali. So Kasali was a very mischievous character. Kasali was someone that had to relate to his craziness, and him and his babe BC, and then him and Chief, and then him and Ronti. So Kasali was a very, very interesting character. Then Obi's mom was acted by Tana Adelana. So she was also called Alabi in this movie. So it was nice. Like I really enjoyed the dialogue scenes, the mother-daughter scene between her and Obi. It was really, really nice seeing Tana play such a very local, rural role. I'm used to seeing her, in all these modern movies, and also seeing her mix her Igbo and her Yoruba. It was a nice dynamic, and her relationship with her daughter in the movie was also nice to see that despite her dad is late, she was still trying to instill certain values and morals in her, although she was going about it the only way she knew how to. So she acted well. You get to see BC. BC was played by Dorathy Bachor. So it was really, really fun watching Dorathy in this movie with her makeup and her gum and her whole facial cues and the trouble she caused in the movie also. So yeah, it was nice. I think it's the second movie I'm seeing Dorathy act, and she's really doing well for herself. And lastly, I will talk about Adunni Ade, who played Chidera. So Chidera was the supposed, owner of these diamonds that she sent Banjo, who was Femi Branch, to come and find in the village. And she didn't really do a lot. So for cast and performances in the movie, I think everybody acted well. There was nothing exceptional about the cast. The film was shot in Oyo State. It was set in a mining village with the whole folk tale story that was being intertwined with the present day, which was a bit confusing at first, but later on you get to understand what was going on. So this movie will draw your mind to certain things, for example, the Japa syndrome for one. So at first, when the kids stumbled on the diamond and Ronchi suggested give it to the police, but Yemi was so desperate to leave where they were in search of greener pastures that his decision sort of override the rest of the group. So they just went with what he said, and they were all for it. And in all honesty, Jami, like most of us, have this Japa syndrome mentality infused in our mind that and when we shall get out of the place we're in, when we shall get out of this country, it will definitely be better. That's what we think, that's what we believe, which was something that was so um glaring with Jamil. Like despite all odds, he just wanted to get out because he was so sure that he will be able to achieve his dreams once he gets out of Oyo. So even as far as when he couldn't get the passport to go to Canada and stuff, so I think his friend told him you have to go by sea to Benin or what. So it was going to be very risky. He still was pushing to just get out. So it's very relatable, it's very understandable considering the current situation that is going on in Nigeria. So everybody just has that mindset to just japa. Then also you get to see that actions have consequences. For one, they took something that did not belong to them, and they'll have to bear the consequences of their actions later on in the movie. So you should watch it so you understand what I'm talking about. Then also it sort of highlights the relationship or the lack of relationship between parents and children. For one, the parents in this movie did not pay much attention to their children because there was lack of communication, there was lack of trust, there was no guidance. Imagine your kids being in trouble, needing your help, unable to talk to you because they feel like they can't communicate with you, they can't trust you enough, they are not open to share their fears and their worries with you, which was really, really sad. Imagine when the prince got kidnapped and the kids didn't feel comfortable enough, talking to the parents about it just because of that lack of communication, which played a very, very huge role in this movie. And because the kids just like they took matters into their own hands, so things went the way they did. So parents should be more open and be able to let their kids confide in them against all odds, and to be very aware of what their kids get up to. Things I didn't like, or my negatives in this movie would have to be, for one, there was no attention to detail from my standpoint. Okay, at first when the movie started, I thought it was set back in the 90s with the whole vintage car, their dressing, their music, their makeup, and just for when they finally sold 4 pieces of the diamond to get at 1 million naira, and the first thing they went to was to buy iPhone 13. So that part just seemed a bit off for me. So I was like, is it a present modern day film, or is it something that's decades old? So it was a bit confusing for me, but that threw me off at first. But regardless, the movie was entertaining and enjoyable. And also, the opening scene in the movie, the car chase and the whole mining thing. Because at first, when that happened, I thought, okay, the guy that was being chased stole, some treasure or something from the mine. But as you watch in the movie, you get to see that there was no correlation between the diamonds that the guy had and the mining out that was going on. So apparently the diamonds were used as payment for work that was done. So they were trying not to leave a paper trail. And that was just it. So there was no direct connection between the car chase and the mining. So I didn't really like that. Themes in the movie, there's the theme of friendship, obviously between the friends. Then there's the theme of betrayal, as you get to see. There was a point in scene as though the friends were turning on each other, and there's also the theme of greed, which played a very very vital role in this movie, because it was like everything, every action, everything that happened in this movie was driven by greed. Imagine these innocent kids, like they didn't really think to do much with the diamonds at first. They just wanted to have fun, buy clothes. You will get to see how greed will make you act in a certain way, to make you act out of character. Like material things can make friends, families, fight. Everything that happened afterwards was just trouble. It was chaos. You get, so they were either running or somebody was chasing them, and they were involved in a lot of near death experiences because of these diamonds that did not belong to them. So it would have you thinking, like, okay, if you were in their shoes, would you have taken the diamond? Would you have kept it where you found it? Would you have taken it to the authorities? Like, what would you have done? Not like they went out and they stole, or it wasn't like they robbed somebody's house and they found the diamond, or they found the diamond close to a dead person. Like, it was just like, we found something. So finders keeper basically. But everything that happens afterwards was so much trouble. Ijogbon has fascinating cinematography. The costume production was really really nice. It had this quality setting, with the rocks and the mountains, capturing it from like different angles, and it was really cool to see. In a nutshell, it's like a typical Kunle Afolayan movie that we're used to, although so much more could have been done in this movie, but regardless, it's still an enjoyable watch. Scenes that I liked, I think one or two of the scenes that my favorite scenes in this movie would have to be scene where Jamil and Ronti confronted their parents. Really, really, really stood out for me, because it seemed like these kids have been bottling this thing up for so long, and it just finally exploded. And it was really really nice because it was also very relatable. Okay, for one, on Ranti's end, he didn't want to be like his dad. He didn't want to be a reverend. He didn't want to be a priest. He didn't want to be any of that. He just wanted his father to understand that his own destiny is not his own destiny. Like, he can't impose something on him just because he's his dad. Yeah, like, I don't want to be this thing. I don't want to go to the seminary. That is not my dream. That's not what I wish for myself. Let out his heart to his dad. And also in the case of Jamil, where he just lost it and he just went on that he doesn't want to be as poor as his father, and that was the reason why they lost her mom, because they were unable to pay for her treatment and stuff. So you could see that really affected him, in the sense that because they were poor, because they were not well off, they were unable to provide and protect his mom. So that was why he was so hell bent on just getting out. It'd be really nice, if parents would actually sit and listen to their children properly, and train their children to have voices of their own. So when they talk, you listen to them instead of imposing what you want them to do, instead of either your way or the highway kind of thing. So hope like parents sharp gets the message from this movie. I would like you to see the movie and give me your own thoughts on the movie in the comment section. And yes, who is my favorite character or actor in this movie? I know I was not the only one that knew that, the prince was going to cause trouble. He was just doing his own thing. Because why are you taking pictures? Why are you trying to feel like a cool guy and get the babes and so when you're supposed to be low key? So he was one that caused everything with his coconut head. think that was just the way the movie was supposed to go. You know, it's a movie. I enjoyed his character. His character was the he was like this annoying little brother you have that doesn't want to listen. He feels like he knows. He wants to form big boy for you. The way the movie ended also would be very, very annoying because it's like may our efforts not be in vain, because after all they went through, after everything that happened up until the end, and Ruby just did what she did. Like, I understood and I saw that coming, because it seemed like the two guys were not going to stop fighting. It seemed like there was no going back to how they were until these diamonds were out of the picture, and that was the only choice she thought she had then. And would the prince wake up? Would he not wake up? What do you think? My favorite scene of mine would have to be the scene where Obi got into a fight. You know, she beat that babe. She beat her very well. I really enjoyed that scene. Because some people have sharp mouth, so that's the only way you can deal with them. Enjoy that fight scene. It was really, really funny. Ijogbon is on Netflix. This is another great work from Kunle Afolayan, and you should watch it if you haven't watched it. I'll rate the movie a 3/5. I have other movie reviews on this channel. You should definitely check them out if you haven't. And please, if you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button, like, share, and comment. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.